9:27 a.m. and I'm done. I finished the Da Vinci Code. And it's funny, this book takes place within like 48 hours, and that's pretty much what it took me to read it. I mean, obviously I had stuff to do today, and I didn't start reading till like 5 p.m. yesterday, or the day before. I don't know. It's 5:30 January 7th. I started reading it at like 5 p.m. January 5th. And I think if we add up all those hours, it kind of adds to like probably maybe about 9 hours I spent actually reading this. Final verdict. Star rating 3.5. As I said earlier, Dan Brown can tell a wonderful story, but he can't write. They're very different. Very different skills. Writing's a skill. Writing is a skill. And storytelling is a skill. They're different. When you put them together, you get greatness. You get great books. You get, I don't know what to compare what would be the like a great version of the Da Vinci Code. But when you pair good writing with good storytelling, you get George R.R. Martin. You get James Joyce. My pigs are squeaking. You get greatness. Was this greatness? No. This was pulp. This was man porn, like, women. I guess this was very manly, guys. It would describe like all the engines and all the cool cars and stuff, and I was like, oh my god, just get to it. I don't care what car they're driving. And one of the more annoying things about this is every time a character is introduced, they will describe like exactly what that character is wearing, exactly what they look like. Like, there are graceful, more finessed ways to do that come with honing your writing skill. So 3.5 stars. Why this pissed so many people off is comes down to this. This is something the book does, and this is something that religion does, is that it mistakes symbols for artifacts. And artifacts can be used as evidence. Symbols aren't evidence in themselves. So that, I think, is why, it just challenges everything people believe. And it's in the book. It says, what if people find out the greatest story ever told is actually a lie? Personally, I think it is and always has been. But, yeah, so I teach research at school, so finding evidence is very, very important. And in this book, all the symbols they interpret and all that crap, that leads them to artifacts. So that's where these conspiracy theorists kind of go crazy. They get this symbology in certain things. They think it means something else. They think it proves their point. Like, oh, look, this is a blade and chalice. This symbol proves. It doesn't. So Dan Brown's writing sucks. And the ending to this is very, very different than the ending in the movie. And I was left actually wanting more. I want to know more about Sophie. I think if Sophie's performance in the movie, the woman who played her, I think if she had a little more life to her, that the movie would have been vastly different. Yes, it makes critical changes to certain plot elements that don't work, especially towards the end. Sophie was very much more a damsel in distress in the movie than she was kind of the femme fatale she is here. Robert Langdon, the main character, I think in every book he has a different woman. So it's like, we have Bond girls, he's got like Langdon girls. But it turns out there's an extended version of the movie, which I'll probably watch like right now. But yeah, 3.5 stars. I hear there's a young adult version of this book, which I want to get for my classroom, because this is something my kids would read. It's definitely way over their head. An average 14, 15, 16-year-old could totally read this, but my kids, like on a good day, read on a 6th, 7th grade level. So, if that. I have some kids who literally cannot read. So, but yeah, So I'm obviously very tired right now. But trying to put all my thoughts together, I just want more about Sophie. I want Dan Brown to write a spinoff, just focusing on Sophie. She was the most interesting part of this book. She was spunky, she was funny, she was evidently, I mean, beautiful. She was described as beautiful in here. And she was way, way smarter than Langdon, and that's not how it was in the movie. She relied on Robert Langdon to solve things for her. And in this book, she solves more than Langdon does. Langdon even admits that she is smarter than him. And she is. So, I'm not going to spoil the end, but I want to spin off about Sophie, her family, and what happens with her after the Da Vinci Code. They're very horny at the end. They're kissing and making out and planning to spend time in somewhere, like, they're horny at the end. They get together in the end. I don't think that's that big of a spoiler because it's pretty obvious. But yes, they sort of get together in the end, and they're very horny, and that's where we leave Sophie and Langdon. There's no overt sex in this book, but the writing does remind me a little bit of Ken Follett in that Dan Brown lays everything out to you. Like, he has to tell you the history of every place, of every person, of everything that they're going. Like, he just assumes that the readers are not gonna know this stuff, which when you go in and you have as much education as I do, then it's a little bit annoying. But I think, like, this book is not meant for the ultra smart person. This is perfectly passable commercial literature. You go, you see this at an airport or something, an airport bookstore. You got a 4-hour flight to Puerto Rico. Oh, look, it's Da Vinci Code. I've heard of that. You grab it for $5. You sit on the plane. Maybe you get hooked. Maybe you don't. But the way it leaves off with such these short chapters and they all end on big cliffhangers, it just sucks you in. Is like, can I say that this book is bad? The book is not bad. The writing is bad. But I definitely don't think that this would be published in today's publishing climate because it's so hard to get published now. So if you are an aspiring writer, don't copy this because you're not going to make it. So that's it for me, guys. Thank you.